Hello and welcome. My name is Natalie from the ANZ Institutional Banking team in Australia, and thank you for joining me for this ANZ Transactive Global New User webinar. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that I'm joining you from Perth, Western Australia, the lands of the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. I also acknowledge the traditional owners on the various lands on which you are joining from today, and I pay my respect to elders past and present and to any Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander peoples joining us today. Our training webinars are designed to help you unlock the full potential and get the most out of ANZ Transactive Global, our digital web and mobile banking channel. Through a single interface, you can access common services such as cash management, trade finance, loans, commercial cards, foreign exchange, and data insights. This session will be an introduction to the desktop version of ANZ Transactive Global for new users, including how to navigate the channel, setting up your workspace, and securely logging in with two-factor authentication. Following today's session, I would encourage you to view our digital services help page for further information on the topics discussed, as well as revisiting our previous webinars. And I will show you how to find these at the end of today's session. You will see that the Teams chat function is disabled. However, you can ask questions using the Q&A tab, which is located at the top of the screen. And my colleagues are online and will answer as many of your questions as possible as we go. Also, today's training session is being recorded. A video and a copy of the questions and answers, and any questions we're unable to answer during the session will be published in ANZ Digital Services Help in the coming days. So you can rewatch or share with colleagues who weren't able to join us live. The last thing before we start, this session is being conducted using a training environment, which means some of the screens and system of behaviour may appear different to what you see in your live ANZ Transactive Global site. So please keep that in mind as we go. And for anything outside of ANZ Transactive Global, we will show screens from the Digital Services Help. Let's start by looking at how to activate your user ID. There are two types of ANZ Transactive Global users, an ANZ Managed user and a Company Managed user. An ANZ Managed user will be assigned a security device, whereas a Company Managed user will require a password only. Today, I'm going to run through activating an ANZ Managed user. To do this, navigate to anz.com. Select Institutional from the top menu bar, and then click ANZ Transactive Global button under Login. Enter your user ID and select New User Activation. Enter your email address and click Next. A verification code will then be sent to your registered mobile number. Enter this code and click Next. And if for some reason you do not receive the code or it has expired, you can click Generate a New Code, as you can see on the screen. Select at least 2 security questions from the drop-down list and enter your answers. And then click Continue. And you will now be returned to the logon page. Enter your user ID again and click Submit. Enter the temporary password you have now received. And choose a new password and confirm it. Your password must contain at least 8 characters, at least 1 upper and 1 lowercase, at least 2 numbers. It cannot contain any spaces or some special characters or your user ID. And once you have entered your password, click Save. Now that your password has been saved, let's discuss and activate your security device. Security devices are not required for all users, but ANZ strongly recommends the use of a security device at all times, as they provide an additional layer of security when using ANZ digital services via two-factor authentication, or 2FA. 2FA confirms your digital identity using a combination of something you know, your password, and something you have, a security device. Use of both means that even if an unauthorized person obtains your password, that piece of information alone is insufficient to access your ANZ digital services. ANZ offers two types of security devices, a physical token and an ANZ Digital Key, or ADK. A physical token, as you can see pictured on my screen, is a handheld device that resembles a calculator and enables you to log on and authenticate activities and transactions using a PIN to generate either an e-signature or a one-time password on the device. The second 2FA method available is our ANZ Digital Key, or ADK. This is our digital security device in the form of an app, which can be installed on your camera-enabled mobile device and allows you to log on and authenticate ANZ digital channel activities and transactions using Face ID, fingerprint, or PIN. ANZ Digital Key is currently compatible with either Apple devices running on version 13 or later, or Android devices running on version 9 or later. Using ANZ Digital Key as a digital token replaces the need to carry a physical security device. Our digital services help page, as you can see here, has more information relating to the regions that the ADK can also be downloaded from. It is possible to have both a token and an ANZ Digital Key, and for some users it may be beneficial to have access to both device types. For example, if in the case of a mobile network outage or coverage issue, the ANZ Digital Key could be unavailable, but the token should work. Alternatively, depending on the frequency of use, a token battery can last up to 5 years. So if it runs out unexpectedly, then your ANZ Digital Key would be available. Please also remember, the device you log on with is the device you must then perform approvals with. You can request a security device at any time, and to do this, please speak with your company administrator to arrange. I would now like to demonstrate how to activate the ANZ Digital Key, and I have a short video to show to assist with demonstrating these steps. Before activating, ensure that the ANZ Digital Key app has been installed on your mobile device and your user ID has been provisioned. I would also recommend, for an optimal experience, ensure your camera is allowed and notification settings are turned on in the ANZ Digital Key app. And please note, if you do not allow notifications, you will have to scan a QR code each time you log in and for approving payments or direct debits. So from the logon page, enter your user ID and select Submit. The logon method page will then display, and you will notice 3 options across the top on the right-hand side: password, token, and ANZ Digital Key. Select ANZ Digital Key and click Digital Key Activation. Enter your password in the Verify Password screen and click Activate. The Activate screen will now display. Read and tick the declaration checkbox in the Digital Key Terms and Conditions screen and Conditions, and click Start. An SMS containing the activation code will be sent to your registered mobile number. Open the ANZ Digital Key app on your mobile device, and if prompted, tap Allow, allowing ANZ Digital Key to send notifications to your phone. Tap Activate, then tap Continue, and enter the activation code that you received earlier via SMS or email. If prompted, tap OK to allow the ANZ Digital Key to access the camera on your device and scan the QR code displayed on the activation page. Set a 6-digit PIN and confirm it by re-entering. If your mobile device is enabled for Face ID or Fingerprint ID functionality and you would like to use this feature, indicate whether you would like to use the existing registered Face ID or Fingerprint ID stored on your device to access ANZ Digital Key. Tap OK to complete the activation process and return to the ANZ Digital Key activation page. A message will now display confirming your activation has been successful, and a confirmation email will also be sent to your registered email address to confirm your activation. Click Return to the Logon page and you are now ready to log on. To securely log into ANZ Transactive Global, navigate to the logon screen via anz.com as we have shown earlier. Enter your user ID and select Submit. The logon method page will display, and your individual logon experience from here will vary depending on whether you're a password-only user or have a security device. A few points to note while we are displaying this logon page. If at any time you have forgotten your password or your password has been locked, an ANZ managed user can follow the Forgot Password link to have a new password sent to you. If you would like to change your password, ANZ managed users can follow the Change Password link to update your password. Company managed users in Australia and New Zealand will need to contact your company administrator for assistance with forgotten passwords or changing passwords. And did you know your logon credentials for ANZ Transactive Global, the web application, will also automatically provide access to the ANZ Transactive Global mobile app. The mobile app provides you with the flexibility to view real-time account balances, payment approvals, obtain foreign exchange rates, transaction history, to name a few of the features. These features are available based on your region. And please note the app install availability is also available based on your country in the App Store. And for some countries, the app is not available. Our Digital Services Help page has more information on features and app availability and how to securely download and install the app. So now that your user ID is activated and you can securely log in, let's look at how to navigate ANZ Transactive Global. As you can see, my ANZ Transactive Global menu on the left-hand side shows a long list of options. This is all menu options available. Your logon may only show a small number of menu options. These menu options are based on the services your organisation has with ANZ and also may vary depending on your role. This menu can be collapsed at any time by clicking on the light blue icon with 3 lines in the application banner. If you require the menu, you can click that same button again and it will become visible. I will now show you some other features within the application banner. The application banner is the dark blue strip across the top of the page, which is accessible from all screens within the application. Starting with the Notification Centre, which is the little bell-shaped icon. This is where you can access important messages from ANZ, including report downloads from ad hoc or scheduled requests, news, announcements and service notifications, new and enhanced ANZ features and applications, training events and materials for using ANZ applications. To read a notification, you can click on a message or click View. The user settings icon displays as demo for me, but when you are logged in, it will display as your user ID. Here you can manage your application preferences, set your notification requirements, your home page, and view the last 3 times you logged into the system. Let's take a look at the Setting and Preferences submenu. Here you can set the time format and time zone. As I am based in Perth, I'm going to change the time zone to Perth. You can also change how amounts are viewed with either a comma or a period character. I'm also going to add a report retrieval code. This code will act as a password to access encrypted scheduled reports that are sent to my registered email address. Please note this is your personal code and it can be changed at any time. And I will show you later in this webinar how to set up encrypted scheduled reports. You can also set your preferred currency, which will show balances in that currency. And lastly, at the bottom of this menu, you will notice your registered email address. Please check if this is correct to ensure the scheduled reports you create will be received. If your email address requires amending, please speak to your administrator and click Save to save any changes you have made in this menu. The submenu Notifications and Alerts is where you can stay up to date with activities most relevant to you. This is where you can enable and disable credit and debit advices and other payment-related activities. To receive an email notification, switch the toggle to on for the topics that are relevant to you and then save. Please note alerts are currently not available. Set the landing page. This can be selected on any page you would like as your landing page, which will display every time you log in. For example, let's navigate away from this menu, select Accounts, then Operating Accounts. If I now click on the User Settings, then Set the Landing Page, this Accounts page will now be my landing page next time I log in. And previous logins. This will display the last 3 dates and times of your historical logins. Moving on to the next icon in the application banner is Help. This is great if you require specific assistance in completing a task within ANZ Transactive Global. Clicking on this will open ANZ Digital Services Help in a new tab. ANZ Digital Services Help is an online self-service database of step-by-step guides, instructional videos, and frequently asked questions for our digital channels, including ANZ Transactive Global. The Help portal is broken into 3 segments: Search, Popular Topics, and Support categories, and I will now take you through each in a little more detail. The Search function. Select the Search function to search for specific areas of interest. For example, I can type Activate Token to quickly view detailed instructions for how to complete this, including how to unblock and how to use your token. I would also like to point out, at the top of all our articles, you will notice a geography field. This notes the regions the article is applicable to. As you can see in this instance, the Activating Token article is relevant to all geographies. Navigating back to our Digital Services homepage, Popular Topics. Here you can view and easily access the most commonly read topics by you, our customers. You can see some of the topics we have spoken about today are here, including new user activation, digital key, ANZ Digital Key, and registering for an up-and-coming webinar. If I was to click on Register for an upcoming webinar, a list of current webinars display. Recorded webinars are also available for you to watch or reshare with colleagues, and these can be found by clicking on Recorded Webinars from the menu on the left-hand side. As you can see, my screen is now showing a list of historical webinars. All topics would be of value for a new user to ANZ Transactive Global. However, I would recommend viewing the Tips and Tricks webinars for useful tips for how to use ANZ Transactive Global better now that you are set up. Navigating back to the Help homepage again, I would now like to point out the monthly announcements articles, which contain a dynamic list of all new features and upgrades ANZ has made each month. Historical feature launches are also found here. You can go back and read about enhancements to ANZ Transactive Global that you may have missed or not been aware of to enhance your user experience. And the last segment in Digital Services Help is Support categories. This includes all topics covered in Digital Services Help. Simply click on a topic of interest and all related articles will be available for review. If at any time you are experiencing difficulties with ANZ Transactive Global, please refer to our Digital Services status page. This provides up-to-date information about the operations of our institutional systems and services, and you can access this page from popular topics or by selecting the menu option on the top left-hand corner. Click on the Digital Services Stat page hyperlink to show the current functionality of our systems, which is displayed using a traffic light type system. If we now navigate back to ANZ Transactive Global, the next icon we can look at is the contact icon. And this can be used if you require additional assistance from ANZ. And for users in Australia, it can digitally identify and verify you without needing to answer security questions or select from menu options on your phone keypad. Start by selecting the country you are calling from. In this instance, select Australia. Then select from one of the 5 topics, and you'll be provided a unique one-time phone number and access code to enter into your phone. A recent function added to this feature is the option to report fraud or unusual activity on your account. By selecting this, you will be connected with one of our customer protection team. For those of you on the call from other countries today, when you select your region and click on the Global Contacts box, a new tab will open that contains a list of ANZ global customer contacts. Earlier, we looked at setting your report retrieval code, and I would now like to show you how to schedule a report. The Report Centre allows you to set up, schedule, manage and email report profiles, schedule reports, and view and download reports generated in ANZ Transactive Global. The Report Centre is broken into 3 submenus: report profiles, scheduled reports, and download reports. And let's take a look at each in a little more detail. Report profiles. This screen allows you to set up and manage multiple reports to suit your needs. Reports can be run on an ad hoc basis or scheduled to run at a particular time and save for future use. To create a new report profile, simply click on New, and the report types available are shown in the drop-down. Choose the report type you wish to run. Today, I would like to run the account statement report. Select the format you would like to view the report and select a language. If required, select any report encoding and give the report a name and a description. Add any filter information required, selecting the date or dates required. And in the schedule information field, enter the schedule details for the report to be run at a particular day and time, and if you would like this sent to your registered email. By clicking this, an email will be sent to your registered email on the date you have selected, saving you logging in to retrieve this. When you receive this email, the report will be encrypted and require the report retrieval code we said earlier to open. Click Save, and this will now show in your list of report profiles. Scheduled reports. This screen allows you to set up and manage reports that you would like to run or have emailed to your email address on a regular basis. You can click New from this screen to schedule a report, and the same screen will populate for completion. To edit or amend an existing report schedule, select the report you wish to amend, and then you will notice a control bar of options available. We can select Edit or Delete for this schedule, or we can navigate to another scheduled report by clicking Next or Previous. Today, I'm going to click Edit, make the changes I need, and click Save. and download reports. This screen allows you to view all reports generated from an ad hoc request or that was scheduled for download. You can use the control bar options to search for reports and also re-download if required also. Moving on to the Applications menu. This menu provides you with a list of additional applications that you are entitled to access. Using a single user ID, for example, if I have access to ANZ Transactive Cash Asia, I can simply click on the tile and this will open that application in a new browser tab, and you will already be signed in. You will notice for me this page doesn't open. However, in your live site, this will populate as long as you have been provisioned with this access. Let's take a look at setting up your workspace. You will notice to the right of the menu an empty white space. This is called ANZ Transactive Global Workspace. This screen is customizable, allowing you to choose and arrange content that suits your needs. To add content to your workspace, click Add to Workspace and select the thumbnail. Today, I'm going to add favorite accounts. Here, up to 20 accounts can be added. I will also add historical balances. This report or this widget shows account balances for accounts that you are entitled to view. You can also choose the type of graph and add up to 7 accounts to display. And I will also add favorite reports. You can add your most used report profiles to a favorite reports content window so that you can easily run the report. And click Run this report profile to generate the report. You can customize this workspace by dragging and dropping the widgets to your preferred location on the page, resizing the content window by dragging the resize icon on the bottom of the content window, refreshing the details by clicking on the refresh button on the right-hand side of the content window, removing content from your workspace by clicking the X on the top right-hand of the content window, and also apply additional settings to adjust the widget to your preferences by clicking on the Settings button. Additional workspaces can also be created, and you can have as many as you like by clicking Manage your workspace. To create a new workspace, enter the name and click Add. To delete, click X on the right. To rename a workspace, click the current name and make the required changes and click OK. If we now navigate to the operating account screen, I would like to take a look at customizing grids. Below the control bar is what we call a grid layout. You will find that grids are a common way ANZ Transactive Global displays information. All grids can be customised to suit your preferences and to help you organise and view relevant information and activity. As you can see here, there are many columns, and depending on your screen size, you may need to scroll across the page to view them all. If this order does not suit or some of the information is not relevant, then you can customise it. To hide or show columns, you can right-click on any column heading and tick or untick the checkboxes next to the column name in the window. To customize the column order, you can click on a column you wish to move and then drag and drop in the preferred location. To resize columns, click the edge of the column heading and drag to your preferred size. And to sort columns, click on the column heading. The column order will reorder in ascending order. Click again to order in descending order. To fit columns to the size of the window, right-click any column heading and scroll down and click Fit Columns to Window. And you can also reset the columns. So right-click on any column heading again and scroll down and click Reset Grid Columns. Click Settings and then Save Settings to save your newly customized grid. And a little tip, if you right-click on any row, the context menu will display, and here you will find shortcuts to view additional information for that account, such as a view balance summary, request a report, or add a selected account to a folder. And I'd now like to take you through how to create folders within Transactive Global. Folders help you organize items that you want to group together, and you can use the View menu to display the items in a folder. From the operating account screen we are currently showing, click View, then Create and Manage Folders. Enter a new folder name and click Add. If you have more than one folder, you can add, reorder, or remove folders. Click OK. To add an item to a newly created folder, from the grid menu, you can do one of two things. Right-click on the item and click Move To on the context menu. Or select the checkbox for the account or counts, click Actions from the control bar and select Move To and select the folder. The item will now be located in this folder. To navigate to the new folder, click on View from the control bar and you can select the different folders. If you would like to remove an item from a folder, navigate to the folder, right-click on the item and click Move to None. Or select from the checkbox of the account or accounts, click Actions from the control bar and select Move to None. A folder can be renamed or deleted, and to achieve this, click View, then Manage Folders from the control bar. To rename, place your cursor in the folder row and enter the new folder name. And to delete a folder, click the X on the right-hand side. Click OK to close the pop-up window. And lastly, always remember to log off before closing the browser window. The log off icon can be found in the application banner in the top right-hand corner. And please also note, after 15 minutes of inactivity, you will be logged off automatically. And that brings us to the end of our new users webinar. On the page I'm about to display is a list of our upcoming webinars, together with a QR code to register for upcoming events. A reminder that a recording of this session, as well as the question and answers, will be added to our ANZ Digital Services Help in the coming days, should you wish to revisit anything or share with your colleagues. You can get to ANZ Digital Services Help by scanning this QR code currently on the screen, or by clicking on the Help icon next time you are signed in to ANZ Transactive Global. I hope this session has been of value, and we look forward to you attending our future ANZ Transactive Global webinars. Thank you and have a great day.